this week, USC quarterback Caleb Williams' father, Carl Williams, recently said there's no guarantee that his son, the USC quarterback, is going to declare for the draft. So my big don't talk for your son. Don't get out there and start spreading this information week 2 in the college football season. Now, what his dad said, he said the funky thing about the NFL draft process is he'd almost be better off not being drafted than being drafted first. The system is completely backwards. The way the system is constructed, you go to the worst possible situation, the worst possible team, the worst organization in the league, and because of their desire for parity, gets the first pick. So it's a gift and a curse. He said, I've talked to Archie Manning. His career was shot because he went to a horrible organization. I've talked to Lincoln Riley, and Kyler Murray struggled because of where he was drafted. Baker Mayfield struggled mightily because of where he was drafted. The organization matters.
Let me tell you what's backwards. You are, my guy.
Oh, yeah.
You're what?
Okay, first of all, it is way too early to start this conversation, right?
1,000%.
This should be the focus and conversation for Caleb Williams right now should be heading into week 2 of the college football season, winning a national title, and that should be the only focus. Right now, we have no idea who the first round draft pick is going to be. Yes, there's been a lot of conversation about Arizona, but who knows? The Rams could have a poor season. Raiders could have a poor season. We literally do not know. But we've seen this happen before.
I know, yeah.
This is not the first time. Eli Manning's and his dad did this. Okay. The Chargers had the first overall pick. His dad said Eli would refuse to play for the Chargers if they drafted him. So the Chargers selected him and then immediately traded him to the Giants for the top pick. Chargers got a number 4 overall pick, Phillip Rivers. So they basically did a trade for starting quarterbacks and a bunch of other draft picks. Then we also had it with John Elway and his dad, who was Baltimore Colts, had the first pick in the draft. And Mr. Elway was advising John not to play for the head coach, who had a tough reputation. And John was also a two-way player and let them know that if he was drafted by a team he didn't want to go to, he would play baseball instead. Ended up getting drafted by the Colts. In his first news conference after being selected, he said, right now it looks like I'm playing baseball, forcing the Colts' hand, and then they traded him to the Broncos 6 days after the draft. In that presser, I'm definitely thrilled to be here. I'm glad to be playing for the Denver Broncos. Now, both Eli Manning and John Elway ended up being 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. But I just think it says a lot about your character if you are not willing to step up to the challenge. Also, you are being talked about being the first overall draft pick. The first overall pick last year, Bryce Young got a signing bonus of $24.6 million. Now, I know you're getting NIL money. We don't know exactly how much Caleb Williams is getting. He's in a ton of commercials. It's been reported around a couple $1 million. And I think that also kind of changes the mindset of college football players now, because there is a little incentive to stay because you can still make money, but it's not generational wealth money like this. But also, look at someone like Joe Burrow. Mm-hmm. Okay, national champion, number 1 overall pick, went to a tough franchise in Cincinnati. They had a reputation of they couldn't really get anything off the ground. And what does he do? The 2 seasons he has been healthy, he has taken the Bengals to 2 AFC championship games and a Super Bowl, and just signed the biggest NFL contract in history.
Yeah, swag pays off. The swag pays off.
If Caleb Williams is that next generational talent that everyone believes he can be, that everyone's talking about, he's got the play and the mindset to back it up, he should be able to go to whatever franchise he ends up at and turn it around like we just saw Joe Burrow do.
Right. Joe Burrow went into a quote-unquote bad organization, quote-unquote cheap organization, and like you just mentioned, biggest contract.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm really wondering. Did Caleb Williams know his father was going to say this? Because unfortunately, this does affect Caleb Williams' image. Even though it didn't come from him, it came from his father. And if you as a dad were trying to set up just in case, let's say, hypothetically, he really doesn't want to play for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Even though we don't know what's going to happen. You just said it. But let's just say hypothetically. He's like, I don't want to do this, Dad. I don't want to play for the Cardinals. I'd rather stay. And you're trying to set this up for, like, the future. Yep. All you had to say was, like, well, with NIL money, he likes college. He might stick around another year. That's all you needed to say, right? You put that thought in people's head that maybe he's not going to play in the NFL next year.
Because he's not up to the challenge to go to not a great franchise and not be able to turn it around and not have a great, successful career.
Without saying that, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could have used
just don't
better
say
words.
Anything.
Obviously. No, 1,000%.
Don't be talking for your son.
100%.
This should not be the focus.
A huge
and what we should be talking about right now. Because Caleb Williams has had 2 incredible games.
Right.
Everyone's talking about he is a generational top quarterback just in football right now. Comparing him to some NFL quarterbacks, better than some NFL quarterbacks. Wouldn't you want to be in the National Football League? Where you, you have the opportunity to go first over. It's silly to me.
It's bad. It is a bad look. It was a bad message for your son, not for you. You affected your son. I don't know if he realizes that. That's the problem here, my guy. This wasn't just you, and now people aren't just talking about you. I don't even know your name. I'm talking about your son because of you. How did you not realize this? This is so terrible. And also, like, it's backwards. Okay, so wait, you want your son to go to the Chiefs and not play for 5 years? Is that what you want your son to do? Since it's backwards? Is that make sense? No, it doesn't, dude. Like, you just really, really put a bad light on your son, and I'm wondering if your son even knew you were gonna say this. That's what I'm wondering. Because if I didn't know my mom was gonna say that, because my dad wouldn't speak for me. My dad would be like, no say. My mom would probably like jump in. I'd be like, Mommy, did I tell you to say that? Absolutely not. I would be so mad at my mom. So mad. No happy hour for my mom. That would be her punishment. If she spoke on my behalf and said something like that. I'm upset. I'm sweating.
Deep breath.
I can't.
I know. Deep breath, Monse. Can we breathe together here? You were getting heated on that one.
Because
yeah. It's going to be okay.
Chris.
He's going to be okay. We're all going to be okay. But that's a big don't.
Do not do that.
Don't in sports. As a parent, do not talk for your child once they are over 18 and an adult. Nope. Let them figure it out and create their own path.
Any NFL team right now would be like, I don't want that type of player on my team.
Exactly. That's the bad look. We're not getting the mindset of mentality of I'm willing to tackle whatever adversity is in front of me. And I know I'm good enough. I know I'm strong enough. I know I can turn a team around to get us there. So that was the biggest takeaway and concern for me.